Alright everyone, it is I, VRChat Star Valentine, and today is, tonight is a stream that I have been dreading for a while. And that is, of course, the stream where I, do my response to the, Phisnom Drama, and basically tell you, pretty much what I think about the entire fucking situation. Um, and, given that I have been covering a lot of security breach related maps recently with my friends because of the DLC's recent release, I thought, what better place to do that than while also exploring the security breach ruined Daycare as well. So yeah, this is basically gonna be two birds with one stone stream. I'm gonna be, covering the security breach ruined Daycare, and also, uh, getting the opportunity to basically say all I need to say about the fucking drama and everything that is related to it, and basically, just put that to rest, put what I think to rest, and pretty much go on with that. I mean, I have, basically hyped up the stream quite a bit, and said, yeah, I have to cover eventually. But you know what? Tonight is where I actually, cover it. So yeah, that's basically what we're gonna be doing tonight. Uh, so yeah, let's get into this. Let's actually not, you know, stall for quite as long as I usually do, and just get right into this here. So first off, if you remember back to my security breach stream, how everything was very colorful, well, this, on the other hand, you can see the real aftermath of everything that went down here. It is all dingy. There's just like parts lining the shelves, cracked screen here. It's got the whole ruined aesthetic. Very fitting of a game that is based on, a post conflict, I guess you could say, post conflict Pizzaplex, or post basically destroyed Pizzaplex, because what happened is that the ending they are building off of is the canon ending, which is the Afton ending, where you basically go down and steal Afton one last time. Well, actually, no, it wasn't Afton, but more of that later. And yeah, the entire fucking Pizzaplex gets destroyed as a result. Um, and and apparently in Ruin, a few years have passed since then. If I'm remembering that correctly, like 2 or so years have passed, and it's still in the middle of being rebuilt. Everything is still in the middle of being completely rebuilt, because this takes time. This is a really high-tech facility, and even in the year when it was constructed, which I think is like 2034, it would take quite a bit of time to repair all this. So yeah, let's just say, uh, it basically took, or is taking a lot longer than they expected it to take, and yeah, everything is still being put back together. Um, and Cassie, uh, who is of course Gregory's friend, um, receives a message from him deep within the Pizzaplex to go save him, and yeah, that's pretty much where we are now. At least, or at least where it begins off, anyway. Now, I've watched a bit of Ruin gameplay, and I will say that I like it, or rather, or I like the concept, but the actual execution is something else. And the lore gets really confusing, and I'll talk about that more later, too. Because, yeah, there is some shit that I want to discuss when we're going through this map. Oh. Oh boy. Yeah, but that is the AR mode, and more on that later. So, so I believe he went to right here, if I remember correctly, after being chased by Moondrop at first, only to come face to face with up here a panel which you need to access to get rid of all the weird abnormalities that will appear. Because basically what happens is that there will be like weird like glitches, like hack marks, abnormalities. It's kind of like Honkai Star Rail with their hacker technology. Now they use like graffiti. But yeah, shit will appear and it will basically start messing with certain items or certain machinery or whatever. And yeah, Cassie had to basically remove it to access further areas of the map, or of the level anyway, and to escape Moondrop. Because Moondrop, well, not only Moondrop, but also the Maxis security system. Because they're both hunting them down. And the whole point of the Maxis, I believe it's called, security system, some people call him Maxwell, some people just refer to him as the NC, was to contain the Mimic. Um, which more on that bullshit later, but yeah, yeah, it was basically to contain the Mimic and to prevent him from getting out. And, and because Cassie was trying to set him free, inadvertently I might add, Maxis targeted her as a top priority. And thus was sending every animatronic after her, was sending tons and tons of security robots after her. It got very ugly. So they had to basically continually hack in and try to stop the security system from going after her so she could progress further on. Um, yeah, that's basically what they had to do. It was basically avoid Maxis and progress further through the level via that. Or via hacking in and try to get rid of all the hack marks and all that shit. And Helpy, you can already tell, Helpy was helpier through this, and honestly, just for the way you could, you know, just for the way Helpy was speaking and shit, you could tell that there was something really wrong with him. Like, yeah, there was a lot of shit going on there, but yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much what these were for, and also allowing you to monitor the cameras and see where the animatronic was relative to you as well. That was another key reason they were there. And as you can see, though it does bear a slight resemblance to the original Daycare or the Daycare in the original game, a lot of shit was moved around. For one thing, there are no balls in the ball pit anymore. They were all taken out altogether. They're completely missing. And it's very easy to see why they're missing, or rather what was used to remove them. That being these heavy-duty vacuums. that were, of course, used to basically remove all the balls and allow maintenance workers to access the base of the ball pit better. Hey, yeah, this map is scuffed as shit. Um, Almost just as buggy as the original game. Oh, you can see a blink cloud there. Pool table? There we go. And also another key difference is the fact that originally there was not an entrance over there. Um, that was opened up after the collapse, after everything fell to ruin, pun intended. Um, and based on what I could tell, it was probably opened by one of the security technicians. That would explain the bars around there. Unless they really felt, that they themselves were in danger and were going to be attacked by the animatronics themselves. Which I do wonder if that is a theory as to why it was taking so long to rebuild the place. Is because the animatronics, uh, you know, they found something very, very ugly that they didn't want to find, and it attacked them. And when they found that out, that's probably why they enabled the Maxis security system in the first place. Because it doesn't seem like just Freddy and Gregory could set that up. It seems more like somebody within like Fazbear themselves set it up. Either upon discovering the mimic, which again would explain why they put the safety bars in such configurations as they did when working, was because they knew that the mimic was there and that was extremely violent. And it just got to the point where they just were like, let's just seal it down there and then activate this bunny security shit to trap it in there, and that's what I'm thinking anyway. Um, and really, what seems to be the most logical explanation, because I doubt that Gregory or Freddy or any of the other animatronics in there could have set that up, especially because Moon and Sun was basically destroyed mostly, and was basically just left to wonder the now destroyed daycare pretty much just in this malfunction state basically where they couldn't do shit. Let's see what else we can find here. Ah, there's a little clear robot. Doesn't seem to do much. Also, you could probably hear that. Yep, it's one of the generators, which, yeah, by the way, I never really knew the end lore, like, explanation in the original game. This isn't just something that Ruin has wrong, even though Ruin did a lot more wrong than the original game. This is something that bugged me about the first game as well. Was why the fuck were there generators in the jungle gym? You know what I'm saying? Because like like, it just doesn't make sense. Because, one, generators like that get super duper hot when they run for long periods of time. And there's a very high chance of a kid burning themselves on that. And number two, and more importantly, it's just a very inconvenient place to put them because you'll have to basically evacuate all of the kids out. Like, if a power failure were to happen to the complex, you'd have to basically evacuate all the kids and, basically then go in there and 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 have them and basically turn them on all manually by hand, I might add, one by one, and it would just be very inconvenient. Plus, you would have the killer Moon animatronic out because Moon goes berserk whenever, well, in normal operation you wouldn't be killer, but say somebody hacked him like Vanny did, or like Afton did, and Secure Breach. Then you would have to go through one by one and flip them all on, all while being, careful of the killer animatronic that is attacking you repeatedly. Like, it would just be very, very, very inconvenient, and it would really just not make any sense. And yeah, I'm sorry about that. Some stuff on my laptop I'm straightening out. Alright, we're good. But yeah, as I said, as I said, yeah, there would be a lot of just, like inconveniences there, and it would just not really make any sense. I mean, especially, especially considering because like, when does Security Breach take place? Oh yeah, in 2034. So by then you expect it to have like miniature auxiliary nuclear reactors or some shit they could just flip on if everything were to fail. Like, they would not even need generators hidden in the especially diesel generators like these. I mean, these are diesel generators that are hidden in the jungle gem. Like, they would not need that in that timeline. Like, they would just have to, just flip on the auxiliary nuclear and that's it. You know? So yeah, it just doesn't make sense from a lore perspective. It just doesn't make sense from a timeline perspective, and it just doesn't. I don't know. It was always just one of those weird quirks with Security Breach that was just never fucking explained in lore. And when it did get an in-lore explanation, it just never felt complete to me. So yeah. Oh, it's a little Helpy. Pirate Helpy. Yarr, I'm a pirate. And our little technicians panel I used to interface with various electronics. And I did not notice this until now, but they are running the technicians panels off of car batteries. Car batteries. Yeah. Like, at least I expect some specialized, like, battery pack. But goddamn, that is even very low. Very, very low tech, even for fucking Fazbear Entertainment, because by then they have developed into this big high-tech company that was like researching remnant tech and all this. Like, couldn't they just power it off of that instead? But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it just wasn't mass producible. Maybe like there was some other issue with it. I don't really know. But yeah, that's just hilarious to me that they were just powering this high tech. Well, not very high tech. I mean, it does have a CRT monitor, but somewhat more high tech equipment off of Actually, again, it is 2034 when this game takes place. So again, we don't really know what kind of tech they're using for displays and shit by then. Maybe it's something that is like far beyond what we have. But yeah, even then, it's just hilarious that they just power this off of a car battery. Just I don't know. There's just something about that. Oh. Right away, you can tell that the AR world looks quite different from the normal Daycare. For one thing, this area not even accessible at all anymore. Apparently, there's this big castle that just appears out of nowhere that just blocks it off. And I think that I have two theories on this. A is resembling like what the original building will look like if it was complete. And B, I don't know, maybe it's like something that the security system generated, or just like generated by the AR tech for whatever reason, for I don't know, just some weird stuff that happens with it. I don't know. But yeah, now you can see, in fact, the entire area there becomes covered in clouds whenever it's activated, meaning that we cannot even like see what's in there. It seems like that area is completely off limits when it's active. Ooh. This is the 5th time I had to do this. But to be fair, Unity's version of Havoc physics engine isn't that great, so I'm not too pissed. But holy shit. This has to be one of the most frustrating maps I've ever experienced because of just this sheer scuff and bugs alone. But yeah, as you can see here, some of the monitors that were previously closed are now open. So obviously, there are only certain monitors that you could access when in AR mode. And those... And shit, I got backwards. Okay, so the original monitors, the original monitors just helped you see where the animatronic was. And then the AR mode monitors, those are what allow you to, like interface with the weird anomaly shit and hack into the system, or what enable Cassie to do that. And again, I might have that backwards, or I might have that completely wrong altogether. I basically did this much research before diving into this because I have been just distracted with shit all week and have not been able to really dive into Ruin as much. And plus, I cannot play the game because I have 1060 and it would kill my GPU. So yeah. Ah, another generator. Also, you'll notice these arrows being left everywhere. Again, another big theory crafting question for me. Um, because so it's obvious that somebody was directing her through this, was directing Cassie through this. So the big question is, who was it? And to be honest, I don't really know. Um, my theory is my personal headcanon theory is it was either the mimic setting them up, what pertained to be Gregory, or the sun animatronic set them up when he regained some of his own will. Like he regained control from Psychotic Moon Man for a little bit, and then laid them out to help Cassie basically reset him, and then save him from the malware that was taking him over, or something like that. Because that's actually what Cassie ends up doing by the end or by the end of the Daycare chapter, is saving him and freeing him from this malware, and basically allowing him to live a normal life again as the Sun animatronic. And so yeah, those are my two big theories regarding this. And personally, I don't know which one it is, but based based on what I've seen, I am gonna say that it probably is. Um, I don't know. It probably is the mimic, only because it just seemed like every guiding action, everything that was guiding her there was the mimic's doing. It was just solely just to lead her to the underground pizzeria and to accidentally freeing her from its trap. It was locked in for years and years and years now. And that's what I'm thinking anyway. Um so yeah. Let's see, anything behind the desk? Oh, radio. Other than that, not much though. Also, I'm not sure what those tubes are for. Maybe they're to contain the animatronics? Oh no, they're parts of the daycare itself, like the jungle gym. Yeah, that actually makes more sense because this tube right here, same design. So yeah, they're obviously not meant to contain something. They are part of the tubing to the jungle gym that people would crawl in before everything collapsed. What the fuck? Oh yeah. And in order to keep frames up, they put this very kludgy... You see, this is something I do not like. In order to keep frames up, they put this very kludgy PNG behind every single door. That way to signal an occlusion cutoff. That is not how you do an occlusion cutoff. You usually just put a door, don't put any texture, weirdness, and then just allow people to just go over and not have to experience any of that, or just make it as seamless as possible. You do not do shit like that. Then again, this is a map developer for VRChat, not the actual Rune game. Though let's be honest here, there are quite a few VRChat map developers who Steel Wool can certainly learn from. Dr. Moreau in particular, when it comes to actually, making enjoyable products, but not gonna get into that. There's Lucky Star's gift shop. And here you can see all the shelves were emptied out. There was no more memorabilia, no more candies, no more none of that. Everything was emptied out so they could, go back and repair everything and rebuild everything and basically work on it. And also, this is one of those hacking panels where they would have to where the character has to basically use a wrench. Yeah, I know, weird name. And then charge these up to a certain amount, and that would unlock the next series of doors down there. I think, again, I don't remember that too well, but... And then they'd, of course, have the big escape up here. Which, before we cover any of that, is when I want to go over my thoughts on the Phisnom shit, because that was the real main purpose of doing this stream, was to cover Phisnom. And my general opinion on Phisnom is this. Well, first I should get into what happened. So what happened was, to explain it, basically what happened is this. So basically what happened is Phisnom was being very negative on Security Breach Ruin, which I could totally understand why it was being so negative on it. It really wasn't a good DLC. Not only did a lot of the lore not add up or make sense, as as you can probably tell from my explanation of it, because I am very keen when it comes to exploring lore. Like, even when I didn't understand Trails of Cold Steel, I always hit on some shit correctly, and at least hit a few things right on the mark, even though I did not get most right on the mark, of course, because again, I didn't know jack about the series then. So yeah, even then, I still was very, very keen on explaining it. Whereas with this, explaining Security Breach Ruin is just an absolute pain in the ass. Because the lore really, there's a lot of plot holes. And I mean far more than some moments in One Piece or big series that are actually, good. Which, to be honest, even really big series, when they run for a very, very long time, develop plot holes. But this This was ridiculous in comparison to that. Um, but yeah, not only was that a problem, but also it was just as buggy as ever, and there was a lot of shit that was missing from the game. Like it just wasn't a good game. Eh. And I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not afraid to admit that Ruin was not a good game. But the big problem comes in. You see, the big problem comes in the fact that a lot of people started being nasty at Phisnom for it, particularly one guy who was just going out of his way to be just super critical and super nasty at him just because he did not like the game. And those kinds of people are the people who just piss me off the most. Like, you know, I get being upset that somebody criticized, the game you like, but don't go after them just for stating their opinion and for stating actual facts, because there are real issues with the game that a lot of people are ignoring in the FNAF community. Well, not ignoring, but are kinda not allowing people to speak about sometimes. And, just panicking out the amount of harassment he was getting, Phisnom had some of his fans do some really, really unpleasant shit. They sent FNAF gore art, which God help me if I ever have to explain what that is. And and actual threats to some of the people who criticized him. And that is not cool. That is not cool at all. And that is incredibly wrong. So yeah, what is my end verdict on? And just recently, people started calling him out for it. He released an apology. Actually, no, he did not apologize at all. He just straight up just said that everyone was in the wrong. Everyone else was in the wrong except him. And later on, I believe he did kind of apologize, but wasn't really. It's more of just a half-assed little apology thing. But yeah, it was just not a good situation all around, and it was just, it all could have been easily avoided, to be honest. This entire thing could have been easily avoided. Not gonna lie, but yeah. Um. So yeah, here's my end verdict on all that. Here's my end verdict on all the drama with everything that was presented so far. And that is, to be honest, I think both sides are in the wrong here. Like, Phisnom did bad shit, the FNAF community did bad shit. Like, it was just a bad situation all around, and it shouldn't have ever happened. And it just really just shows just how fucking toxic the FNAF community is. And I do not mean this in a bad way. I love, the FNAF games a lot. I don't play them. I'm more of an Undertale fan myself, but um, but even the Undertale community isn't as bad. No, the Undertale community is fucking amazing. Like, like okay, there are a few bad apples, and it can get a little toxic at times, but it is far better than the Undertale community, than the FNAF community at this rate, because even on VRChat, you could just see just how toxic things are with the Five Nights at Freddy's community, because like they just go around reporting each other's maps, avatars, like ripping each other's shit. Like it just really isn't a good time in the FNAF community, not only on here but in general. Like it's just one of the most toxic communities in gaming, and the entire Phisnom drama just highlighted that toxicity, just highlighted, that nastiness that is in their community, and really just highlighted just how bad it actually is. So this is less of an issue with Phisnom and more of an issue with just FNAF content creators and the FNAF community in general. It just really is just a fucking just toxic community, very unfriendly, very nasty. Like there are just so many issues with this community. And yeah, I just do not. I'm not going to be taking sides. I'm not going to be defending either of them because they were both very much in the wrong with what they did, and they were both very much, like they were just very much, acting out of line. And this should never have fucking happened. But with a community like that, it was bound to happen. It was bound to happen. But even then, it's just a real fucking disgrace. And and if the FNAF community was a little bit more, accepting of criticism and wasn't so toxic, then it wouldn't have happened, is the thing. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. That's pretty much, my 2 cents. No, not just my 2 cents. My $500 million on the Phisnom Drama, and just everything revolving around it, and just basically how much of a problem the FNAF community has. Just very very deep within it. Not only Phisnom wise, but just a deep problem in the community itself as a whole. So, yeah, there needs to be some change. There needs to be some serious change with that community, and this just shouldn't have been allowed to happen in the first place. And like, yeah, it was just a travesty all around. And I know it's a very iffy and weird topic for me to talk about, but Phisnom is one of the main figureheads of the not just FNAF community, but of the VR of the YouTube streaming community as a whole. So I felt I had to cover him because like he's one of YouTube's biggest streamers, and when they fuck up, you have to cover the guy. Like, like there is no just burying this and acting like it never happened. There is just only addressing this head on and, giving your 2 cents, and that's what I did here. And I am sticking to my guns, and I am not going back on anything I said here. Even if people try to force me to do so. So, yeah, I pretty much rest my case. But anyway, on with the rest of the explanation. Ah! That's Music Man! Which, okay, this is some of the mind-bending shit that I really do not get about the AR technology, is right here, the screen looks perfectly normal. Like, I mean, there is a purple flash, and it, it is repeating itself, but it looks perfectly normal. Like, there's nothing weird coming out of it. But here, you see Music Man, fully revealed, and his arm is positioned right here. Like you can see that he is actually there, and yet um for some reason when you turn off the AR, it doesn't show him. He's basically hidden until you turn it on. And right here you can see there is another panel you have to access Um, presumably do something with him somehow. So yeah. And 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 like like the entire lore surrounding the AR stuff just really I feel like it just breaks too many rules. Not only in universe, but not only like laws physics wise, but also in universe. And just really it isn't well explained at all. Let's be honest here. It really is not explained well at all how this is happening. And really is one of the biggest like lore breaks in the entire game, because the big problem with the AR stuff, the big problem with that is you know one, how does all the physics line up? And two, you know like how does it allow people to walk through walls and walk through various things to teleport like that? Like okay, again, I am going to give the whole 2034, far future, uh, weird tech shit. Just just shrug it off with that. But when you think about it at a deeper level, like I do, it really does not make sense, especially given how Music Man, one of the biggest robots ever built in the FNAF universe, was able to hide in a screen this entire time out here, but then when you turn this on, he's right there. Like that just doesn't add up to me, and it just does not. Like there's just a whole bunch of just plot holes and various like issues with that I just it's just a really it. I think the concept behind it was very good, but in execution it just doesn't make sense, and it just doesn't. It just really wasn't that well done. So yeah. Captain Fox Pirate Adventure. So obviously from that we could tell that they were actually filming movies about the animatronics. And it's very curious that they would make one about Foxy because one, aside from how scuffed the texture is, I suppose that's a remnant of the AR world though. Or AR mode, it just doesn't turn back to normal for whatever reason. Um, and two, and more importantly, I might add, Foxy wasn't even involved in the wasn't even involved in security breach. He had been replaced altogether with Roxanne as his more modern wolf female, incredibly hot counterpart. So why would they be making a movie about him? Like again, a big plot hole that was never understood, and also Glamrock Bonnie. I mean, it would make sense if they were just like making it about the classic characters. But there's also Bonnie there, and Bonnie was an actual animatronic in the Pizza Place as well. Granted, he got destroyed by someone, and it left Monty Montgomery Gator with permanent survivor's guilt of not being able to protect Bonnie. and not coming to his aid when he was attacked, but he was an actual animatronic. But Foxy wasn't. So, it just, I don't know. I might be just nitpicking there, but, like I tend to do. Here we have where where Sun Moon hung out. And now with like, with this corridor, I actually understand now how Sun Moon got to their room. And, got to their living quarters. It was all by, that corridor back there. So obviously, and this is just me musing more, which by now, if you watch any of my streams, you should be pretty used to me lore musing quite a bit. As it is a thing I tend to do on these exploration streams. So yeah, obviously what happened is that, Pizza Plus will close for the night. Then they would run, after that, they would, of course, pass by all the leaving workers and children or whatever, and then go up to their office. And that's pretty much where it would be for the rest of the night until it opened again. Just me thinking. But yeah, I don't know. Something's just fun to think about for me. Especially lore. Lore is just like one of my big things, to be honest. And this here, oh, I remember this for the original game. So this is actually Gregory's room. And it kind of adds to the fact that Gregory was apparently also a robot made presumably by the whoever was the owner of the newly reformed Fazbear Entertainment by then, because it could not be William Afton, because William Afton got spring locked, came back for a moment as Spring Trap, then got killed again, and is now pretty much dead, except for the mimic who inhabited him as Burn Trap later on. And somehow found a way to get into an old endoskeleton and animate that. Which, again, that is just a whole other level of lore break, because the technology back then would never be sophisticated enough to allow that. So, the big theory now is who is in charge of Fazbear Entertainment in the Secure Breach series. And that is really what a lot of people are missing, is who is running the place now that William's gone. Now that William is, pretty much dead and buried and gone for good now. Who is in charge of this? And aside from Clara Afton, though, a lot of original theories state that she was in fact, I think it's canon that she was put in Bellora or whatever to preserve her or some shit. And Michael sacrificed himself, presumably in the end of a Pizzeria Simulator or FNAF 6, where he basically trapped all the animatronics in a room and then set everything on fire to vanquish Springtrap, aka William, once and for all, and get rid of the evil that is William Afton. So yeah, he's gone dead too. So the big theory is, who's running it now? Who's running the post Axon Labs, post post or OG Fazbear Entertainment, OG William Afton Fazbear Entertainment. Like, who's in charge now? And it can't be Henry Emily, because Henry Emily, after that he retired. He pretty much, he's in retirement now. So, that's a big, not just a big plot, a small plot hole. That is a huge plot hole. Like, how they get to this fucking point, and is one that they do not bother to explain at all. With them not even naming the person who's in charge. So yeah, Gregory was built by whoever was in charge then in the post-Afton, FFP, which when you really look at it, there is actually evidence to support this, because down in the secret lab area, I guess you could call it, there's like an entire table set up with a bunch of animatronics around it. So obviously, somebody was experimenting on bringing people back from the dead, or rather, creating simulacra versions of them similar to Titanfall, except they don't go completely insane, I guess, upon learning that they're a robot. But yeah, so somebody put them down there, and based on the fact that somebody put them down there, we could pretty much assume that it was created by one of these scientists or the current CEO of whatever company is in charge of, or whatever corporate entity is in charge of the post OG Fazbear Pizzaplex. It was probably used for some kind of weird resurrection experiments that I don't really know. And I was living there for a while with the Sun and Moon animatronics, and then one night, he decides to escape because Fanny starts coming after him, and yeah, that's pretty much how the rest of the story plays out. So yeah, this is basically confirming that. The fact that it's there is confirming that pretty much right off the bat. So yeah. And also, my Netgear, my Wi-Fi cards started acting up again, which is nice. Very nicely done, Vixen. Piece of crap. But yeah, that is pretty much gonna be it for the stream. So aesthetic-wise, I really like the aesthetic. Like, it really is a very, very, like, something about this kind of aesthetic really just grabs me. Like, I just love the kind of post-apocalyptic gloom and doom grayness kind of shit. Just as much as I love retro future steampunk stuff. Just as much as I love, the nice futuristic shit. Like this is my jam. This right up here is one of my main jams, and I love it. And so yeah, no complaints with the stack. Overall overall, like, performance wise or tech wise, there are issues. For one thing, the AR stuff, which is a whole other can of worms on its own. It kind of does create some permanent, lasting artifacts. But it is very, very faithful to the original game, and I will admit that even then, this is a really good map. For being a FNAF map and a very accurate lore accurate, I might add, FNAF map at that. You know, like, there are no complaints on my end about that. Um, you know, and also, I mean, there are some FPS issues. Like, like right now we are at an average of 48 FPS, which that is not smooth at all, kids. Not smooth at all. But you know, it's much better than some other maps that have been given me in the past, to be honest. So, you know, not all bad. Also, there are some little like seams and shit that are also like poking out, but again, not gonna really complain about that. You know, they really did try their hardest here, and and pretty much everything works as it should for the most part, and you know, everything's pretty damn nice. Um, and overall level design. Well, it's designed to mimic the game, and the uh, the problems with the level design are more problems with the game itself, not so much the VRChat port. So I'll pretty much leave that for when I actually get around to playing the game, if I ever do. I mean, it probably will not be on this computer because this computer is on its last legs, and as you can see with my bitrate dipping a bit, it was really fucky try to get this map to work. I had several failed streaming attempts earlier with this very map, and it just didn't like it at first. So there were a lot of issues, um, which I eventually did work through. But yeah, there were a lot of issues with this map, and it's a real pain to stream. But other than that, it was pretty much okay. So what will I give it overall? What will I give this map overall? Um, I'd say 8.2 out of 10. There are lots of issues, both with the lore of the game and gameplay wise with this map, but it's alright. It's alright for, you know, just hanging chilling. And, you know, it is pretty graphically, you know, it's pretty graphically impressive. Not gonna lie. So what am I gonna be doing next week? What is the old fox gonna be doing next week? What is Schrodinger gonna be doing next week? Well, next week, I'm not really sure. Um, you know, I'll probably think of something, and then you know, actually do it. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens next week. I, I don't know. Again, we are on my summer schedule, my reduced time summer schedule right now. So we aren't gonna be, you know, doing full scale streams quite yet. Also, there's a whole issue with my Wi-Fi card being a little fucky, which and really my Netgear drivers just eating their way to my motherboard and just causing all sorts of weird shit to happen. So there's also that as well. But hopefully we could figure something else out, or figure something out pretty soon where I could, you know, start doing full length streams again. As I really miss doing that. I really miss, you know, doing full length streams at my normal time. Like that is one thing that I absolutely do miss about these reduced hours, and hopefully it will cool down enough to the point where I could do that, and also I could get, you know, the neck gear shit straightened out and all that. So yeah, hopefully we'll figure everything out. But for now I gotta get going. You pretty much know the drill. I can't stay here forever. Thank you all for watching this wonderful stream here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, week, whatever, and I will see you all well, no, not tomorrow, but next week. So yeah, because tomorrow I'm gonna be sleeping in. By the way, uh, because I did a stream tonight just so that I could actually do that. So yeah, good night, everyone. Stay classy, everyone, and good night. And I'll see you all next week for whatever it is we have planned then. So yeah, see you then, everyone.